Hello and welcome to Road to the Record, episode 11. It is Thursday, February 26, 2026. It's been a while since I've made one of these episodes. To be honest, I needed a little break. I'm actually getting ready for a show tonight, and it's the first show I'm playing in a while where I'm not only playing songs from the new record. I'm playing some new songs, I'm playing some old songs. Just feels good to be doing something different. I'm playing piano instead of guitar, so I wanted to bring you along on a little get ready with me for the gig and give you an update on where I'm at with the record. All right, let's jump into it. So the last time I released a video about the record was my album listening party in New York, and then I went to Austin and I did another album listening party at Waterloo Records. That was really exciting. Just felt like a big deal to bring the record back to the community that really formed a lot of those stories and play for a bunch of friends and loved ones. It was awesome. And then I came home and I started working on the vinyl, because putting music out in 2025, now 2026, can feel pretty anticlimactic, especially with everything going on with streaming services, Spotify giving money to AI defense and war machines. I just don't really want to support it, and I'm more interested in live shows and experiences that bring people together. So, first step to making a vinyl is you have to get it mastered for vinyl. It's a specific mastering process. So the first thing I did is I reached out to the mastering engineer that I used to use with my band in Austin. And he emails me back and he says, I can't master this record. He's like, you're gonna have to remaster the entire thing, and why don't you just send me all the rough mixes? And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot be mixing this album again. I also can't afford to. Are you kidding me? So I cried about it, and then I got back on the horse and I reached out to another mastering engineer here in New York, and he took a listen and he said, it's fine, I can master this over the weekend. I was like, okay. So I sent him the mixes, he gets it mastered, he gets the lacquer sent to the electroplating facility. I'm working on the cover art.
We know that your vinyl is coming out, and we thought that maybe we could fund it. So we believe in you, and this is just a token of appreciation and support, and we love how creative you are, and we just want you to know that we're always going to have your back. And go ahead and print that vinyl so we can spin it to places.
The lacquer gets sent to the electroplating facility, that gets sent to New Orleans, and then I'm in New Orleans in the end of January, and I'm like, perfect, I'm gonna pick up my test presses, and if the timing works out, I will also get to watch my records being made at the facility. So I get to New Orleans, I meet Scott from New Orleans Record Press. He's so sweet. He's like, come by next week, pick up your test presses. Amazing. The timing might actually work out. So I swing by that next Monday, I pick up the test presses, and I have a couple friends over. We're listening through. We get to the end of side A, and it ends with the song ACL. And I'm like, what the fuck? Album order is 6 songs on one side, 6 songs on the other. It ends with Blame on Me, and it starts with Tell It Like It Is. I flip over the record, and the first track on the B-side is Blame on Me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm sitting there on the couch, and I'm listening with my friends, and I'm like, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. I've cried about this album so many times. I'm not gonna cry. I can't cry. I really am so sick of crying about this record. But at this point, there's nothing to do. The problem is the mastering engineer back in Brooklyn, which means it's got to go all the way back to him and then all the way back to the electroplating facility. And the whole thing is delayed 6 weeks. I tell my friend Sari, and Sari's like, well, what's the deadline? Like, when do you need the record out by? And I'm like, I don't even know. At this point, it doesn't really matter. Like, honestly, realizing that it doesn't really matter just kind of took the pressure off. I'm like, okay, whenever the vinyl gets here, I'll plan an album release show, and it'll be an in-person event, and I'll have a physical album to share with the world. And until then, let me focus on other shit. I feel like the big lesson with this album has been not to rush the process. And I don't know how many times I'm gonna need to learn that lesson before it finally sticks. To be honest, I didn't want to talk about the hard stuff. I didn't want to talk about how the vinyl didn't come out as planned, or the mastering engineer told me that my masters weren't good enough, or how the night of my listening party in New York, my roommate went home and remixed the entire album, and how those mixes weren't actually finished until the day of the listening party in Austin, and that I actually uploaded an entire album of different mixes and then re-uploaded it in November. I didn't want to come on here and talk about all of that because it's not pretty and it's not perfect and it's not what I had wanted, but it's what happened. And if I'm really going to be honest about the trials and tribulations of making a record, that's reality. I'm the one that said, don't pick a release date until your mixes are done. And then I went ahead and picked a release date even though my mixes weren't done. Looking back, even though it wasn't perfect, it's still been a beautiful process. It's okay that it's been messy and stupid and I've cried 1,000 times over this album. If that's what it takes to put out a great fucking album, then okay, here we are. What's next?